She said I'd never find better. And for a long, dark, shameful time, a part of me actually believed her. Her words weren't just a breakup line. They were meant to be a curse, a final blow to what little confidence I had left. They were designed to bounce around in my head for years, a constant reminder of what she decided I was worth. But all it took was one red light years later, on a sun-drenched afternoon, to prove just how wrong she was. Our relationship didn't start out toxic. For a while, it actually felt like everything I'd ever wanted. Chloe was magnetic, charming, and when she shined her spotlight on you, you felt like the only person in the world. Looking back now, that intense focus wasn't romantic. It was the first sign. It was possessive. Slowly, almost so I wouldn't notice, my world started to shrink until it was just her. My friends were suddenly a bad influence, my hobbies were a waste of time, and my ambitions were unrealistic. Every single criticism was wrapped up in the language of love. "I'm just saying this because I care about you," she'd say, right after pointing out how I'd embarrassed her at a party, or how my new shirt didn't fit quite right. She was an artist at planting seeds of doubt. Little comments here and there. "Are you sure you're cut out for that promotion? It sounds like a lot of pressure." Or, "It's cute that you're trying to get into shape, but you've always been more of a cuddly guy." Each phrase was a tiny chisel, chipping away at my self-worth. I started second-guessing everything, my choices, my skills, even my own memories. She was rewriting my reality, and I was just letting her do it. Her opinion became the only one that mattered because, by her design, it was the only one I ever heard. The breakup wasn't a dramatic, tear-filled fight. It was as cold and efficient as a business deal. Just a quiet Tuesday evening when she announced she was done. She'd outgrown me, she said. She needed someone on her level, someone who could keep up. I was just dead weight. I tried to argue, to plead, to just understand, but it was like reasoning with a brick wall. And then, as she stood by the door with her boxes already packed, she delivered the final blow. She gave me a look, a mix of pity and contempt, and said, her voice completely flat, "You know, I almost feel sorry for you. Good luck out there. You'll never find anyone better than me. You're just not built for it." Those words didn't just hurt. They felt like a final verdict on my value as a person. And the scariest part? I believed her. Every single word. For 3 years, she had been systematically programming me to believe that I was nothing without her. She hadn't just broken up with me. She had broken me. That night, sitting alone in our apartment that suddenly felt huge and empty, her prophecy echoed in the silence. Maybe she was right. Maybe this was it for me. The first few months were a blur of takeout containers and the hollow glow of a TV screen. Her words had become my internal monologue. Every time I even thought about going out, her voice would whisper, "Who would want you?" Every time I looked at a job application, it was, "You're not good enough." I was trapped in a prison she had built, and I was holding the key but was too damn scared to use it. The change didn't come like a bolt of lightning. It was more like a slow, quiet dawn. One morning I caught my reflection in the dark TV screen and didn't recognize the man staring back. His eyes were dull, his shoulders were slumped. He looked defeated, and in that moment a tiny flicker of defiance sparked inside me. A quiet, stubborn voice, my own for the first time in years, said, "No, this is not how my story ends." My first real step was the gym. It wasn't about getting a revenge body. It was about reclaiming my own physical space and feeling strong in my own skin again. The burn in my muscles was a welcome distraction from the ache in my chest. Each rep felt like an act of rebellion against the weakness she'd convinced me was my nature. Next, I found a therapist. Saying the words emotional abuse out loud for the first time felt like breaking a spell. We spent months unpacking the subtle manipulations, the gaslighting, the control. I learned to see her need to diminish me wasn't a reflection of my inadequacy, but of her own insecurity. It was like someone handed me the repair manual to my own mind. And slowly, I started putting the pieces back together. I poured all the energy I used to spend worrying about her into my career. I took on the projects I'd been told were too much for me. Within a year, I got the promotion Chloe said I wasn't cut out for. That feeling of accomplishment was intoxicating. It was real, tangible proof that her assessment of me was flat out wrong. This journey wasn't a straight line. There were days the loneliness was crushing, nights when her voice came back with a vengeance. But now I had tools. I had friends I'd reconnected with, I had the gym. I had my work. I had the quiet confidence that comes from surviving something you were sure would destroy you. And then I met Anna. It happened at a friend's barbecue, long after I'd stopped looking. There were no games, no pretense. We just talked. Anna was calm. Her presence was a gentle warmth, not a scorching spotlight. When I told her about my job, her eyes lit up with genuine interest, not thinly veiled judgment. When I talked about my hobbies, she didn't call them silly. She asked if she could join me next time. Being with Anna was just easy. Our relationship wasn't built on drama or control. It was built on mutual respect. She didn't try to change me. She celebrated me. She was the living, breathing antithesis of everything Chloe represented. She wasn't the goal of my journey, but she felt like the most beautiful destination. A reward not for finding someone better, but for becoming better myself. It was a perfect Saturday. The kind of day that feels like a reward. The sun was warm. The sky was a brilliant blue, and Anna and I were in my car, windows down, just driving. We were singing terribly to some 90s rock song on the radio, laughing at how off-key we both were. In my passenger seat, with her hair whipping around in the wind, Anna had this incredible, uninhibited smile on her face. Her hand was resting on the center console, her fingers intertwined with mine. It was a moment of pure, simple happiness. We pulled up to a stoplight. I glanced over at Anna, just soaking in the sight of her, so full of life. As I turned my head back to the road, my eyes drifted to the car that had pulled up beside us. And there she was. Chloe. She was in the driver's seat of a sensible, boring sedan. Her windows were up. She looked stressed. Her face was tight, and she was staring intently at her phone. She looked smaller somehow. The larger-than-life person she had always projected was gone, replaced by a woman who just looked tired and ordinary. Then she looked up. Maybe she felt my gaze, or maybe it was just a coincidence. Her eyes locked with mine. For a split second there was confusion, then recognition. Her mouth parted slightly. I could practically see the gears turning in her head, but then her gaze shifted. It moved from my face to the passenger seat. She saw Anna. She saw Anna mid-laugh, turning to say something to me. She saw her hand resting on mine. She saw the easy joy that radiated from us without a single word. The look on Chloe's face was the climax of a story I didn't even know I was still writing. It was a rapid-fire series of micro-expressions: surprise, shock, then something ugly and raw. It was a cocktail of disbelief, jealousy, and maybe, just maybe, a sliver of regret. The mask of cool indifference she always wore didn't just slip. It shattered. For one brief, unguarded moment, I saw the real her. Someone who built her own worth by tearing others down, now facing proof that she had failed. The light turned green. I didn't rev the engine. I didn't look over for one last glance. I didn't give her the satisfaction. I just lifted my foot off the brake and drove. Anna, noticing my hand tense up, asked, "Everything okay? You look like you just saw a ghost." I took a deep breath. I squeezed her hand. "Something like that," I said, a slow smile spreading across my face. It was my ex. She looked at me, then back at the road ahead. She didn't ask a million questions. She just nodded, smiled gently, and said, "Well, her loss." And with that, we kept driving, leaving that intersection and all its baggage far behind us. As we drove away, this incredible sense of peace just washed over me. For years, I had imagined seeing her again. I'd played out dramatic scenes in my head with witty comebacks and grand displays of my new life. But the reality was so much more powerful in its silence. See, the real win wasn't her seeing me with someone new. It was her seeing me happy. It was in her seeing a man so completely over her that her presence was nothing more than a minor curiosity. The curse was broken, not because I found someone better, but because I had stopped using her broken ruler to measure my own worth. I had built a better life and a better version of myself. Anna was a beautiful part of that life, not the reason for it. Living well is the best revenge isn't just a saying. It's the quietest, most powerful victory there is. It's a win that doesn't need an audience or an apology. It's the simple, undeniable truth of your own happiness. If you've ever had someone try to tear you down only to build yourself back up stronger, I want to hear about it. Share your story in the comments below. How did you prove them wrong? And if this story resonated with you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Because in the end, Your happiness and your peace are the only validation you will ever need.